What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I'm bringing you my second place Fire King Tri-Brigade Horus profile. Now I know before you run away, disregard the Horus, I'm going to explain to you why I put it in here, and I'll explain to you why I'm definitely taking it straight out. So this one I took to my locals. I thought I'd try something a little bit differently. I did like the synergy that some of the Horus cards would have with something like Kit, but ultimately it just didn't work out the way I had tested it or envisioned it to work. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. So my loss of the entire weekend came to Vanquish Soul, and you'll see that in a duel later on. I kind of just played myself. I misplayed quite a few times and really stitched myself up. Anyway, for the Fire King cards, we are on 3 Ponyx, 2 Garunix, and 2 Kirin. Now, I know straight away you're going to be like, whoa, why only 2 Garunix, why only 2 Kirin? It was a couple of times where I was like, I'm an RN, and that's where I would be putting these back in for the Horus cards. I was like, okay, what can I cut down for the Horus engine? Where can it work? And what I did like the ability for was like, okay, cool. Well, if I can get a Garunix on the board, all I need to do is Imseti with a discard, and I can go straight into the Coach Trainer. The Coach Trainer will then just draw me 3 new cards, and I haven't even used a normal summon in order to get to that point. Or if I have used a normal summon, I've used my Ponyx, and then I've pretty much got everything I need to. So then what I'm trying to dig for as I make my plays is I'm trying to dig for a route into the Tri-Brigade engine or something else. Ultimately, I think you could very easily just play Prosperity. Obviously, you can't play Prosperity as much with the Tri-Brigade engine because you do need a lot of your extra deck. But I was like, okay, let's see where this can go. The Kirin was a last minute kind of change, and I was like, okay, well, I've got no issue destroying this in the deck. Great. I've got no issue searching it. Like, it's one of the first cards you search and one of the first cards you could possibly destroy. So I was like, okay, arguably, I could put this at 2 and feel fine with it. These kind of felt okay, to be honest, at 2s. Like, Garunix would be one that I'd highly be considering getting it to 2, putting it up to 3. But I was like, at the end of the day, again, through my normal play, I just want to get to Ponyx. As soon as I get to Ponyx, I get to Garunix, I get to Kirin. Like, everything else leads to what else I need. And once Garunix is in the graveyard, you can then utilise it from the grave and going back from there. It was also another one of them ones that off the back of the King Sark cards, so off of Imseti, if I was to send the Garunix, it's like, okay, cool, well, it's technically a free send, because I would get the search of the King Sark, I would get the draw off of Imseti, and then all I need to do is, I still destroy Ponyx, I still get the Garunix. Like, the outcome is still exactly the same. For the avatars, I do have the one Avatar and the one Barong. I completely cut the other one. I didn't feel that it was necessary for the particular plays I was trying to make. I didn't think that the spell and trap, like, negate really came up. So yeah, that's kind of what Ragbar is kind of reason I cut it down. And then, of course, we were still playing 3 Sanctuary and 2 Fire King Island. There were so many times I was like, okay, I really want to just cut Fire King Island down to 1. And I learnt my lesson in the Vanquish Soul matchup, because the one time that I did that, and I was like, right, okay, I'm going to side out Fire King Island. I'm just going to run the risk of playing just 1. My opponent got rid of it, and I was like, oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, that would be why you play 2. Yeah, smart play. So, yeah, definitely, I think the ratios are fine as they are. And then, of course, the one Fire King Skyburn. Pretty straightforward and simple on that one. I think it's a really kind of cool card. My only disappointment with it is you have to target an equal number of Fire King monsters you control and cards your opponent controls. So you kind of have to have equal amounts. But there was a couple of times, again, where I learnt my lesson. I sided these out. I was like, okay, cool, let's play like this. And both times these came out. And I was like, yeah, cool, learnt my lesson. They're going straight back in. For the Tri-Brigade engine, just as like a bridge over between them, obviously triple Tenki, pretty standard on that one. And of course, triple Fractal, triple Kit. Kit is like the best bridge for this deck. It's absolutely insane. Like, the fact you can destroy it in the deck with your Garunix, the fact that you can send it in your hand with your Imseti and still trigger the effects is absolutely insane. Getting you all the way to like send a Nerval search out a Karaz or a Fractal. Fractal is obviously the one you'd probably want to go to the most, just because it's a fire and a beast warrior. And there's quite a few times where you can actually make your plays, do everything you need to without even conducting your normal summon. So getting back to a Fractal is great, because then Fractal can instantly lead you into Kit, and then Kit can special summon down the Ponyx anyway. So you're still in a good position, getting everything you need. The final card is the one Revolt. Pretty straightforward and similar on that one. I can't imagine a Tri-Brigade version that you would not be playing Revolt in. I did misplay on this one again. This is why the Vanquish Soul duel is going to be so important to see, because you'll see all of the bits that I kind of just, you don't even think about. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, got it. and then I made the wrong, like, the worst thing is, as the play played out, so basically what it is my opponent had a Fenrir, they summoned down the Panther to destroy my back row, which was the same column as the Revolt, and I had SP Little Knight clogging up my extra zone. So instantly, I knew what I needed to do. I was like, right, okay, use SP Little Knight to get rid of a monster, and then on the new chain, activate Revolt. So what I should have done is I should have gone SP Little Knight, get rid of Panther. Great. Panther can no longer destroy because it's no longer in the column. The Fenrir would have triggered to banish my Garunix, and I would have gone, yeah, cool, no worries, activate Revolt, bring out Shurag, and then banish a card that would cause me an issue. I didn't do that. My stupid ass went, okay, cool, banish the Fenrir so the Fenrir can't banish your Garunix. And then I tried to chain Revolt, and I was like, I can't do that because SP is in the extra monster zone. Like, I completely snookered myself on that one, which was really stupid, but lesson learned. The 1-for-1 just kind of bridged into your Ponix. For the hand traps, triple Ash Blossom, 1 DD Crow, triple Imperm, pretty standard on that one. And then the engine that I'm not going to play, but there was reasoning behind it, is the Gold Sar or the King Sar. So Imseti, the 1 Blessing, the 1 Happy, and then the 1 Sark. So it's a 6-card engine. I was like, okay, cool. So what I'm going to do in place of this is I'm not going to play the Dio Bellstar engine, which would have been the smarter way to go. And the reason for that is I was like, okay, cool. Imseti, send Garunix or send Kit. Ideally Kit. Get the search off of Kit, which sets up your Tri-Brigade plays. Get the draw off of Imseti. And then King Sark. And then, like I said, all I need to do was normal summon Ponix. Ponix gets me to Fire King Island. Fire King Island, destroy a fire. Great. That would then obviously get me the Garunix to the board. I could then Imseti summon it back, send a card through King Sark, summon one of these back, straight away go into the Coach Trainer. Coach Trainer, technically, because I'm playing so few spells and traps, it was like draw 3 new monsters, burn my opponent, and then I just regain my resource. So like what I was losing with this deck, or like when I was testing it, just the pure version, I was like, I'm burning through a lot of resource, especially when I'm activating a Snake Eye, I'm having to send another card. Yes, Snake Eye is just as good if you send Tenki, but it's like, okay, so with that, I need to see Tenki and Snake Eyes. With this, I was like, okay, cool, I need to see Imseti plus Kit or Garunix, and it didn't work. I never saw it. I saw it once, and it had the combo because I had Imseti and Kit, and then my opponent card destructed me. I was like, okay. I want to test it out a little bit more just to kind of see the utility behind it. But honestly, I don't think it's worth it for the Coach Trainer. It's something I wanted to try out just because I enjoyed the Horus engine a little bit. But it didn't really come up as much. And I think the Snake Eye, if you're going to choose between that and the Snake Eye, you're definitely going Snake Eyes. And like arguably, you've got 6 spaces in here. So those 6 spaces can come the Dogmatica cards, they can become the Snake Eye cards, or of course they can become more hand trap cards. And I think the deck would then be better for it. So this whole idea of the profile is to show you what to improve on and what I would personally change. Moving on to the extra day, I think the extra day is pretty straightforward on this one. So the Tri-Brigade monsters, we've got the 2 Shurag, 1 Rugal, 1 Bearbrum, 1 Ferrogy, and then obviously the other Winged Beast monster you can summon out of the back of your cheating effects is of course going to be your double Dragon Lords. And when I say cheating, I mean obviously you would use your Tri-Brigades to banish the monsters to summon them out. For the generic Link monsters, of course, we've got Appaloosa, Stellantis, Pit Knight Early, SP Little Knight, and Relinquish Anima. Pretty standard on that one. And then for the rank 8s, I went with the Galaxy Photon Lord because I was like, you know what, if I put Promise in the deck, which is something I hadn't done at that point, I was like, okay, cool. So my King Sark could get me into a Coach King Giant Trainer, which would get me loads of more resource and burn my opponent. And then, off of the King Sark, I just send 1 more card, and that would then allow me, or 2 more cards, would then allow me to bring back the 2 monsters, and I can make the Photon Lord. Or you make the Photon Lord first to protect what you need to from the Biru and any particular hand traps, and then you send the rest of the Gold Sarks, bring them back with a Garunix, and then go into Giant Trainer. So it was an idea, didn't work. Same with Zombie Vampire. It was an idea, didn't work. And then, of course, you've got the Garunix Eternity. Again, was another idea, because it's like, what I could have done is you could have pumped this full of so many different King Sark monsters, and then when you destroy it, it just brings back all of your Fire Beast warriors, and you're like, okay, cool, I've got a full board. And then your King Sark cards just go, okay, coming back, OTK. The other reason I went with the King Sark one is because I thought my opponent would be targeting the Fire King Island so much. I was like, what I want a card that if they don't get rid of King Sark, I'm going to be able to come back for an OTK the next turn anyway. So it kind of gave them the option of, right, they have to get rid of the Fire King Island, and they need to get rid of the Sanctuary. So they need to get rid of Sanctuary first, then Fire King Island, and then they still need to worry about King Sark. Didn't really come to fruition, but, you know, the idea was there. Moving on to the side deck. The side deck's a bit of a mess, to be honest. Whoops. So I just went with back row hate, so Duster and Lightning Storm. Yeah. Triple Droll, pretty straightforward. Very, very strong. And then I went with a lot of 2 of. So 2 Dark World No Mores, 2 Book of Eclipses, 2 Nibirus, 2 Karikaras, and 2 Evilies. Now, ultimately, if I'm going further forward with this and I'm going to go with the Snake Eyes, I'm probably going to go with 1 Kurikara because you can actually search it out, which is really nice. The Book of Eclipse was the last minute addition because I thought there'd be Pearly running around, but there wasn't. I would play 3 Dark World No More, or I would definitely be looking at Trill Tactic Talents and Trill Tactic Thrust. So, again, it was one of them last minute changes that I was like, okay, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be playing today because I only really play on the Sunday locals if there's an odd number of players. And there was an odd number of players. I was like, okay, cool, well, I'm going to be playing the Fire Kings. Let's try and spice it up. And the spice worked for the first couple of rounds. And then I got into my own head and I misplayed humongously. Like game 1 in the Vanquish Soul matchup, I ashed him. He ended on Rock of the Vanquished. I had Raisin back in the hand and an Imperm. He Impermed my Ponix. I was like, okay, cool. And I looked at my hand again. I was like, oh, god damn it. I had Kirin in my hand. I could have chained the Kirin to protect the Ponix. Ah. So, yeah. And then after that, my head just went completely. So, you know, it happens. Misplays happen. Mistakes happen. Learning lessons definitely happens. Anyway, that is it for the profile. I thought it'd be good to kind of show you what it could do, the option that you do have if you already have the King Start cards and you're like, I want to spice this up a little bit. You can do, but yeah, you need a couple of times. Like, if you don't see the engine, it's completely useless. Or, well, I say if you don't see the engine. If you don't see Mseti, it's completely useless because it's like, if I saw either of these 2 in my hand, it's like, yeah, okay, cool, these are dead. I can't do anything with these. Which is why I was also tempted to put in Trade in because then I would have had all of the King's Arc cards or the Horus cards, and then I would have had like Kirin plus Garunix. But oh well, it is what it is. I thought I'd show you something a little bit different and then give you a bit of a breakdown on it. I think honestly the Snake Eye version is definitely the way to go. I honestly wanted to kind of consider putting the Snake Eyes in it as well. So like you'd just be making an absolute pile because you'd have Fire King, Tri-Brigade, Horus, Snake Eyes. And the reason that I thought of justifying that, I was like, oh, put trading in. And the snake is the level 8 Flameberg is a level 8. I was like, no, let's not try and be too copium on this one. God. Anyway, that is it for the profile. I hope it's giving you an idea of your own build and how you can update it. Honestly, straight away, take these 6 cards out, and then I would be going back to probably the budget build that I worked with, or I'd be looking at putting in stuff like talents, droplets, maybe something like Lightning Storms, Torrential Tributes are a good option as well. I'd want to put in some more Fire King cards as well. Definitely the free Kirin. Actually, 3 Garunix, and then the 3 Kirin is like a maybe. I felt 2 was quite nice, but then I also do kind of really like its destruction effect, just because it lets you present a board more. And with that destruction effect, I do like the option of being able to make some rank 4s, which is why I'd highly consider probably playing more Avatar. But the way I saw it is like, technically, destroying Kirin in a deck is a better Avatar, because Avatar negates their effects, whereas Kirin doesn't. And that can be quite relevant to special summon out an Avatar or special summon out a Ponix, which is really nice to kind of give you a bit more resource. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe and of course, happy dueling.